We invited you to talk a little bit about our cooperation between Inperly and IDnow.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you some questions.
Yeah, by all means, yeah.
In an increasing digital world, what are the challenges facing companies that operate with their customers, employees, or partners remotely?
Yeah, I think, the way that customers communicate and interact with businesses is changing so quickly. And I think that is the first challenge. It's businesses being able to adapt to those changes. But I think secondly, it's really around a security and a compliance perspective. I think when you do adopt a remote process or a digital process, I should say, rather than a traditional face-to-face communication with customers, you are increasing that risk, because if that person's not in front of you, it's difficult to determine they are who they say they are.
Okay. Ben, in your experience, what do end users expect from the bank, insurers, or HR departments?
In my opinion, I think it's trust. And, people today are more aware about their own personal data and their own digital identity than they've ever been before. And they're also acutely aware of the dangers and the risks associated with that data. So whether somebody's signing a contract or if they're verifying their identity online, they really want to know that the business that they're dealing with is handling their data responsibly and compliantly. I think secondly, it's all about user experience as well. People's expectations have changed dramatically, more so over the last few years, for obvious reasons. I think people now, they want a really quick experience, they want a frictionless experience, and they want to do it via their mobile phone as well.
Yeah, fully agree. What are the challenges that prevent some organizations from responding to those expectations?
I think, firstly, I think it's regulatory challenges that they face. Businesses are moving from a more traditional manual approach to a digital approach. They still have to make sure that they're complying with regulations across Europe. So there's technical implications, of course, so adopting this new technology, but as I say, also trying to remain compliant whilst communicating with customers.
Okay. And how can these issues be resolved?
I think the answer is technology, and it's the adoption of technology. The ability to verify somebody's identity document within minutes, whether that person's in the same town as you or the other end of the world. That's possible now. Likewise with e-signatures as well. We've moved to a position now where previously people were signing hard copy contracts, but now people are signing contracts digitally as well.
They're expecting those changes, right?
Absolutely, and I think it's the adoption of that technology that's the answer to those challenges.
Okay. About the electronic signatures, what the electronic signatures are. Maybe not all of our viewers will be able to understand that. Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate about that?
Yeah, of course. So a digital signature or an e-signature is a digital representation of a physically signed contract. So, we've all in the past signed a hard copy contract. An e-signature is a digital version of that. And from a legal point of view, most countries have legal frameworks in place that means that an e-signature is legally valid and enforceable as well. So when you combine the fact that they're so much more efficient and quick and secure with their legal, how they're recognized legally, you can see why e-signatures have become popular within organizations across the world.
What sets IDnow apart from the other entity service providers?
IDnow, we position ourselves as the leading provider of identity services across Europe. We verified over 30 million individuals last year. We expect that number to grow again this year. But I think it's our focus on product innovation as well. We're always trying to push the boundaries, whether that's with automation, with document automation or video-assisted services through to e-signatures and even reusable identities as well. We're always trying to push those boundaries. But I think as well, IDnow has a very customer-centric approach. So not only can we help businesses like Millennium steer through those regulations, but we can also provide the end user, the end customer with the best possible experience as well.
Okay. So in your own words, how does the Inperly work, and why IDnow is such an important partner?
So it's really, really straightforward. I think, with Inperly, it's a simple case of a business can verify an identity or have a contract signed by a qualified electronic signature, all within the Microsoft Teams ecosystem. And as far as the collaboration between Inperly and IDnow goes, I think Inperly provides the experience and IDnow provides that security and level of assurance.
Okay, so just from my perspective, what our Inperly customers love in IDnow is issuing one-time electronic signatures on the fly.
Yep.
What do you think makes the Inperly a great solution?
Well, there are lots of reasons. I think beyond what Inperly does, as far as electronic signatures and identity verification goes, I think it's the accessibility, in my opinion, that really sets it apart. 300 million people use Microsoft Teams, so to be able to sign that contract or to verify your identity document within that familiar platform, I think that's what really sets Inperly apart as a solution.
Yeah. To representatives of what other industries would you recommend Inperly?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to find an industry or sector that wouldn't benefit from it. But speaking specifically, you'd say finance, insurance, HR teams within any organization, healthcare, education,
Sales, maybe.
Absolutely, sales. Yeah, if you're in a situation where verifying somebody's identity remotely and getting them to sign a contract electronically is important to you, then Inperly is a great solution.
Thanks, mate.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Okay, coffee break now.
Absolutely.
Thank you.